Why did my husband file for divorce on the same week I told everyone I was getting surgery to never have children? How did I go from my body, my choice, to standing in a clinic lobby while a process server said my full name and handed me a divorce packet? What made the whole room go quiet when I realized he had planned this with calm eyes and clean hands? My name is Eustacia Ward, but most people call me Stace because it sounds friendly and fast. I was 34 then. I worked in marketing at a home improvement company, and I like to say I was the person who made boring things look exciting. I also liked to feel in control. I did not call it control, I called it clarity. Graham was my husband. He was 36 and an engineer. He had a quiet way of being right. He did not argue in circles. He asked simple questions and waited. That waiting always made me feel like I was failing a test. We had one child, Mila. She was 6. She was small and careful. She watched faces more than cartoons. People say kids do not notice adult problems. That is not true. Mila noticed everything, even when no one used big words. That week started with a talk in our kitchen. It was late afternoon. The sun came through the window and hit the table like a spotlight. I had my phone in my hand, like it was a shield. Graham was rinsing a cup. He asked what I wanted for dinner. I said I did not know. Then he asked very calmly if we could talk about having another child one day. He did not demand it. He did not shout. He said he missed the idea of a bigger family. He said he loved Mila, but he felt something missing sometimes. He asked how I felt about it. I felt heat in my face, like someone turned on a lamp inside me. I told myself he was pressuring me. I told myself he was trying to trap me. I did not stop to check if that was true. I went straight to the weapon I had been holding in my mind for months. I said I was planning surgery. I said I wanted to make sure I could never have children again. I said it fast, like a door slam. I watched his eyes change. He did not look angry. He looked shocked, like he had stepped on something sharp. He asked if I was serious. I said I was very serious. He asked why I never told him sooner. I said he never listened anyway. He asked if something was wrong with my health. I said my health was my business. I can still hear how my voice sounded. I made it smooth. I made it clean. I wanted to sound brave. I wanted to sound modern. I wanted him to feel small for even asking. Graham put the cup down. He asked if we could talk without Mila hearing. I said Mila was not even in the room. That was true, but she was in the hallway. I knew it. I pretended I did not. He said he respected my body and my choices. He said he just needed time to understand. Then he asked one small thing that made me angry. He asked if we could meet a counselor before I made a final decision. I laughed. Not a happy laugh. A short laugh that cuts. I said counseling was for people who could not think for themselves. I said I did not need a man to approve my medical choices. I said he was acting like a judge. He said he was not judging. He said he felt blindsided. He said he thought we were a team. I said a team does not ask for permission. I said respect follows results. And I had results. I did not even know what that meant in that moment, but it sounded strong, and that is what I wanted. Then Mila walked in and asked if we could go to the park after homework. Graham said yes. I said yes too, but my smile was tight. Mila looked between us, and her eyes stayed on Graham, like she was checking if he was okay. Later, when Graham went upstairs, I texted my mother. I told her Graham was trying to control my body. I told her he wanted me to be a baby machine. Those words were dramatic, and I knew it, but drama gets support. My mother, Denise, replied fast. She said I was strong. She said men always show their true face when women say no. She asked if I wanted her to come over. I said not yet. I wanted to handle it myself first. I wanted Graham to bend before I called in witnesses. That night, Graham did not sleep in our bed. He took a pillow to the guest room. He did not slam doors. He did not threaten. He did not even look at me in a hard way. He just moved like someone who was choosing safety. That made me furious because it made him look good. In the morning, I told myself his calm was an act. I told myself he wanted to punish me by being quiet. I decided I would not let him win with silence. I would win with a story. At school pickup, I stood with other parents. I chose the ones who liked gossip because they listened well. One mum asked why Graham was not with me. I said he was upset about my health plan. She asked what plan. I said I was taking control of my future. I did not say the word surgery at first. I let her ask again. Then I said it like a headline. She widened her eyes and said that sounded serious. I said it was serious and brave. I said I was tired of men thinking they could decide my life. I said Graham wanted more kids. And I said I refused. I made it sound like he was forcing me. I made it sound like I was escaping. When Mila came out, she held my hand too tight. She asked where Dad was. I said he had work. It was a lie. He had asked if he could come, but I said no. I told him Mila needed calm. I said I would handle it. The truth was I wanted the picture of me alone, like a hero in a movie. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. At home, I found Graham in the kitchen again. He had made Mila a snack. He asked if we could talk later when Mila was busy. I said I was tired. He asked what appointment I made. I said it was private. He did not argue. He only nodded once, like he was filing the moment away. That nod made my stomach twist, but I pushed the feeling down and told myself he was just being stubborn. While Mila colored at the table, Graham took out his phone. I glanced at the screen and saw his calendar. There was a reminder titled Downtown 10:10 a.m. It was not a work meeting. It was not one of his usual job notes. It was plain, like a label on a folder. I asked what that was. He said it was something he needed to do. I asked if it was about me. He said it was about the family. I asked what that meant. He said he would explain when the time was right. Then he placed 2 mugs on the counter, one near the sink, one near the other end, like a quiet border. He did not say anything about it, but the space between those mugs felt like a line drawn on the floor. For a second, I felt a small fear. Not guilt, not sadness, just fear that my story might not be the only story. I still told myself I was right, even as my chest tightened. I watched him turn away, and I told myself he was the one creating distance, not me. I told myself he was making a scene with silence. But when the calendar reminder stayed on the screen, bright and calm, I realized he was moving in a direction I could not post my way out of. On Monday, I went to the office like nothing happened. I wore a blazer that made me feel sharp. I told myself I was the stable one. I told myself Graham was the one acting strange. When I say it like that, it sounds clean. That is what I wanted. The office was loud in a soft way. Keyboards clicked, phones buzzed. People laughed near the coffee machine. I sat at my desk and opened my laptop. I had 3 tabs up: our campaign calendar, a budget sheet, and my messages. I told myself the 3rd tab was harmless because it was just words. Noah wrote first. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. He asked if Graham was still being difficult. I said yes, and I added that Graham was trying to control my choices. I did not say I was the one who dropped the surgery line like a bomb. I did not say I used it to win a fight. I said I was standing up for myself. Noah replied with a fire emoji and a line about me being brave. Noah was not my coworker. He was a vendor rep who came to our office sometimes. He was friendly to everyone, but his eyes stayed on me longer than they should. He had a way of talking like the world was unfair to people like us, people who wanted more. When he said that, I felt special. I felt seen. At home, I felt watched. Around 10, Graham texted. He asked what time I would be home. I said my day was packed. He asked if I could pick up Mila from after school. I said I had a deadline. That was half true. I had work, but I also wanted space. I wanted to avoid a real talk. I wanted him to sit in his own worry. He asked if we could talk tonight after Mila slept. I said I was tired. He asked if I made the clinic appointment yet. I said I was working on it. He did not push. He just wrote that he hoped I was okay, and that Mila missed me at breakfast. I stared at that last line and felt irritation, not warmth. I told myself he was trying to guilt me. I told myself he was using Mila as a tool. That is what I said in my head. It helped me stay hard. At lunch, Lena from accounting asked if everything was fine at home. I said yes, but I also said Graham was being weird. She asked what I meant. I said he was obsessed with family planning. I made a small face like it was silly. She nodded, but she did not smile. She said she hoped things got better. Her tone was polite, but it felt like she was measuring me. In the afternoon, Noah came by with product samples. He leaned on my desk like he belonged there. He asked if I wanted coffee later. I said I might. He asked if I wanted to get out of my head for an hour. I said I deserved that. When he left, my phone buzzed again. It was Graham. He asked if I spent anything big last week. I said no. He asked because he saw a charge he did not recognize. I said it was probably a mistake. He asked what store it was. I said I did not know. I knew. It was a gym membership upgrade. It was also 2 smoothies and a parking fee on a day I said I was working late. I did not think of it as lying. I thought of it as privacy. I told myself he had no right to question me. I told myself his questions proved he was controlling. I did not consider that married people share bills for a reason. That evening, I left the office at a normal time, but I did not go home. I drove to the gym near the highway, the one with the bright lights and clean floors. I told Graham I had to stay late for a meeting. He replied that he understood. At the gym lobby, the air smelled like citrus cleaner. Music thumped behind the glass doors. Noah was there already, leaning near the smoothie counter. He smiled like we had a secret that made us smarter than everyone else. He asked if I was still sure about the surgery. I said yes. He asked if Graham was begging. I said Graham was sulking. He said it sounded like Graham wanted to trap me with babies. I said that was exactly it. The more I repeated it, the more real it felt. Noah asked if I loved Graham. I said love changes. He asked what I wanted. I said I wanted freedom. He said I deserved a man who chose me every day. I said Graham took me for granted. I did not say that Graham made Mila's snack and asked how my day was. I did not say that he always filled my gas tank when he used my car. Those details did not fit my story, so I pushed them away. Noah suggested we sit and talk outside, where it was quieter. I agreed. We sat near the front windows with our drinks. People walked by with gym bags and tired faces. No one looked at us. That made it feel safe, like the world did not care. Noah asked if Graham would ever accept my choice. I said he had to. Noah asked what would happen if he did not. I said he would not dare leave. I said it with a small laugh, like it was obvious. As soon as I said it, I felt a pinch of fear again. Graham had been too calm. He had not begged. He had not yelled. He had moved to the guest room like a person making a plan, not like a person throwing a fit. My phone buzzed. Graham asked if I could send him a picture of the clinic appointment details for the calendar. I said I had not booked yet. He asked when I planned to book. I said soon. He replied with one word, okay. That okay was not warm. It was not angry. It was flat. It was the sound of a door closing without a slam. I went to my car after the gym. The parking garage was dim and smelled like oil. I checked my reflection in the mirror and fixed my hair like I was preparing for a role. I told myself I was doing nothing wrong. I told myself a little attention was normal. I told myself I was only taking what I needed. When I started the engine, my phone lit up with a missed call. The screen showed no name. It only said, no caller ID. I stared at it longer than I should. My heart beat faster, and I hated that feeling. I told myself it was spam. I told myself it meant nothing. But my hand stayed tight on the wheel as I drove home. By Wednesday, My story was no longer only in my head. It was in other people's phones. It was in group chats. It was in the way co-workers looked at me and then looked away. Cassidy Harlow was my best friend, and she treated life like content. She worked in sales, but she lived on social media. She had the kind of smile that made people think she was kind, even when she was cutting someone down. When I told her about the surgery plan, she did not ask how I felt. She asked how I wanted it to look. She said I should own the narrative. I said I already did. She said people loved an empowerment story. I said I was basically doing a public service. She asked if Graham was going to punish me. I said he already was by acting cold. That morning, I found him at the kitchen counter again. He had packed Mila's lunch. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said no. He asked if I was coming to parent night at school. I said I had work. He said he could go alone. I said fine. He did not push. He did not ask about Noah. He did not accuse me of anything. He just moved like he was learning how to live without my answers. That should have scared me. Instead, it annoyed me. It felt like he was taking something away from me, like he was refusing to play the role I gave him. I went to work and checked my phone too often. Noah sent a message asking how my battle was going. I said I was winning. He replied that I should celebrate. He suggested drinks later. I said maybe. At lunch, Cassidy sent me a screenshot before she posted. It was a black background with white text. It said something about women making choices and men showing their true colors. It did not name Graham, but it did not need to. She added a line about how some husbands tried to control women through baby pressure. She tagged me and added a crown emoji. I told her it looked perfect. I told her she was a real friend. I did not ask if it was fair. Fair was not my focus. Power was. By afternoon, my phone was full of notifications. Old classmates liked the post. Co-workers reacted with hearts. One woman I barely knew wrote that she was proud of me for being brave. I read that line 3 times and felt warm, like I had earned something. At the same time, I felt a thin panic under the warmth. Because when people believe you, they watch you, they expect consistency. And my life was not consistent. Graham did not comment. He did not like it. He did not message Cassidy to defend himself. He did not even ask me to take it down. He simply picked Mila up from school, made dinner, and helped with homework. When I came home late, he asked if I ate. I said yes. He nodded and went back to rinsing plates. I told myself he was silent because he was guilty. I told myself he knew he would look bad if he argued. I told myself his quiet proved my post was true. That logic felt smooth in my mind. It let me keep my crown. That night, Cassidy planned a rooftop bar meetup. She said I needed to be around people who supported me. I said I deserved support. I did not tell her I also wanted to be seen. I wanted Graham to hear about it from someone else. I wanted him to feel left out and worried. Before I left, I walked past the guest room. The door was half closed. I heard a soft beep, like a recording app starting, then stopping. It was quick and quiet. I froze for a second. Then I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was probably watching a video. I did not knock. I did not ask. I did not want answers that could make me feel less confident. The rooftop bar was crowded and bright. There were heat lamps, glass rails, and music that made it hard to think. Cassidy hugged me hard and said everyone was on my side. I said I knew. People from her circle were there, and a few from mine. They looked at me like I was a story they already understood. They asked how I was doing. I said I felt free. They asked if Graham was acting crazy. I said he was trying to guilt me. They asked if he was begging. I said he was sulking in silence. I said it like I had won. Someone asked if I was really going through with surgery. I said yes. Someone said I was so strong. Someone else said men hated when women could not be trapped. I nodded like it was wisdom. In that moment, I let myself enjoy the picture of it. Me in the middle, smiling, brave, supported. Graham in the background of my life, shrinking. Noah arrived later than I expected. He did not sit with the whole group at first. He came to me near the bar and asked if I was okay. I said I was better than okay. He asked if Graham saw the post. I said of course he did. Noah said Graham deserved to be exposed. I said I agreed. Cassidy pulled me into a group selfie. She told everyone to look powerful. I lifted my chin and smiled. Someone asked what we were celebrating. Cassidy said we were celebrating my choice and my freedom. People cheered like it was a birthday. Then Cassidy said we should do a toast. She raised her glass and said she wanted to honor me. She said I was refusing to let a man control my body. She said I was an example. I felt the eyes on me and I loved it. A friend asked me to say something. I said I did not need permission for my life. I said I was done being pressured. I said I was never having children again, and I said it like it was a victory line. As I said it, I noticed phones lifting. People were recording. I pretended not to care, but I cared. I wanted it to be captured. I wanted it to travel. That is when I saw a face I recognized near the edge of the crowd. It was a man from Graham's workplace. I had seen him at company picnics and charity runs. He was not smiling. He looked like someone who had stepped into the wrong room and could not leave without being seen. Our eyes met for a second. His gaze slid away, but he did not look embarrassed for me. He looked concerned, like he was watching a car drift toward a wall. My stomach tightened. I told myself it did not matter. I told myself he was nobody, but I could not unsee him. Later, in the bathroom, I checked my phone. The toast clip was already in a group chat. Cassidy had added text on top, calling it Women's Power. People were replying fast. Some were cheering, some were asking questions. One person wrote that Graham seemed like a good dad and asked if this was really about surgery. I felt anger flare in me, sharp and hot. I typed a reply that made Graham sound controlling and cold. I said he wanted more kids and was punishing me for saying no. I said he was acting like a victim to manipulate people. I hit send and felt a rush, like I had pushed someone back. When I came home, the house was quiet. Mila was asleep. The living room lamp was off. In the kitchen, 2 mugs sat on opposite sides of the counter again, like yesterday. Graham was not there. I heard the guest room door click softly, like a lock turning. I stood in the hallway and looked at that closed door. My phone buzzed with another notification, and the toast video had more views than it should have. By Friday, the air in our life felt thin. It was still the same house, the same street, the same school bag by the door, but everything had edges. Even small sounds felt sharp, like the fridge closing, like a spoon on a bowl. Denise called me in the morning and said we needed a family dinner. She said the situation was getting serious, and she said it like Graham was the reason. She asked if I wanted her to invite his mother too. I said yes. I told myself it would be good to have witnesses. I told myself a long table could fix a marriage if the right people sat on my side. Graham heard me on the phone. He asked what the plan was. I said we were having dinner with both families. He asked why it had to be public. I said families talk when couples get stuck. He said he preferred a private talk. I said he already had privacy in the guest room. He looked at me for a moment and then nodded once. He asked what time. I said 7. He asked who was coming. I listed names. He asked if Mila was going. I said yes because she was family. He did not argue, but I saw his jaw tighten. I told myself it was guilt. At work that day, I told Cassidy about the dinner. She said I should wear something that looked strong. She asked if I wanted her to come and support. I said it was family only, but I also said she could wait nearby after. I liked the idea of backup. I liked the idea of a crowd. That evening, we drove to the restaurant. It was one of those family places with big booths and a long table set for groups. The lights were warm, the menus were thick, people could hear each other. That mattered to me. Ruth Ward arrived first with Ty. Ruth was Graham's mother. She had kind eyes, but she was not soft. She hugged Mila and asked about school. Mila answered in a small voice. Ruth looked at me and asked how I was feeling. I said I was fine and that I was taking care of my health. I said it like a line from a speech. Paul and Denise arrived next. Denise kissed my cheek and squeezed my hand. She looked at Graham like he was already on trial. Paul gave Graham a polite nod and sat down fast, as if sitting could protect him from conflict. Brielle came late, with her hair still damp. She hugged me, but her arm stayed stiff. She whispered that she hoped I was not making this worse. I told her I was making it clear. She did not reply. When the food came, the table became louder. People talked about Mila's school, about the weather, about holiday plans. But the real topic sat between the plates like a heavy bowl no one touched. Denise started first. She asked Graham what his problem was with my surgery plan. She said it was my body. She said a good husband supports his wife. Graham said he supported my choices, but he said he was allowed to feel grief about the future. He said he wanted to talk like adults, not like strangers online. Denise asked what he meant about online. Graham said he had seen posts and videos. Denise said those posts were truth. Graham said he did not agree with making private things public. Denise said he only wanted privacy because he looked bad. I watched this with a strange calm. I had wanted it. I had set it up. I wanted Graham to be forced to speak while I stayed reasonable. I leaned in and said I was tired of being treated like a womb. I said I was tired of being pressured. I said I needed safety and respect. I said it slowly, with my best calm voice. It made me sound like a victim and a leader at the same time. Graham asked what pressure he had used. I said his disappointment was pressure. He asked if I could give an example. I said he always brought it up. He said he had asked twice in a year. I said that was still too much. Ty's eyes moved from me to Graham. He did not speak yet, but his face changed. Ruth put her fork down and asked me to keep my voice gentle around Mila. I said my voice was gentle, and I smiled. Mila was drawing on a kid's paper, but her hand shook. Denise said I should not have to perform motherhood to keep my marriage. Graham said he never asked me to perform. He said he just wanted honesty. Denise laughed and said honesty was rich coming from a man who was emotionally cold. I tilted my head and added a small joke. I said Graham had always been old-fashioned. I said he wanted the picture-perfect family more than he wanted me. I said I was not a project. People at the table went quiet for a second. I pretended not to notice. Graham asked if I really believed he did not want me. I said actions matter. I said silence is an action. I said he had been punishing me with the guest room. He said he slept there because he did not want fights in front of Mila. He said he wanted Mila to feel stable. Ruth nodded at that, like it was the only sentence she trusted. Denise rolled her eyes and said stability was not an excuse to abandon a wife. Graham did not raise his voice. He asked Denise not to use words like abandon. He said he was still in the home. He said he was still a father. He said he was still lawful in everything he did. That word, lawful, landed strangely. It sounded planned. I jumped on it. I asked why he said lawful, like he was defending himself. He said he was choosing calm because anger would not help Mila. I said he was hiding behind calm to avoid accountability. I said, calm can be cruel. That line sounded smart, so I used it twice. Brielle finally spoke. She asked me if the surgery plan was truly about health, or if it was about winning. Denise snapped at her and asked whose side she was on. Brielle said she was on Mila's side. The table got even quieter. Mila looked up and asked why everyone was mad. Graham told her no one was mad at her. I told her grown-ups just had big feelings. Mila asked if Dad was leaving. Graham said he was not leaving her. I stared at him, and he stared back, and neither of us added anything else. After dinner, Graham paid his part without a word. He did not fight over money. He did not make a scene. Denise hated that. She wanted him messy. She wanted him loud. His calm made her look loud instead. Outside, the night air was cold. Denise hugged me and said I did great. She said Graham looked bad. Paul patted my shoulder and said he hoped we could all cool down. Ruth hugged Mila again and told her she loved her. Ty gave Graham a short look like a signal. Graham nodded once. On Saturday, Graham took Mila to the community playground. He texted me the location and time. I said I might come. I came because I wanted to watch them. I told myself it was mother instinct. It was not. It was surveillance. The playground was noisy with kids and strollers. Graham pushed Mila on the swing. He did it the same way he always did, steady and patient. Another parent waved at him. He waved back. He looked normal. That made me angry, because my online story needed him to look like a villain. When Mila ran to get water, she stopped near Graham's car. The trunk was open. I saw a neat stack inside, a backpack, a folder, and a small plastic case. It looked too organized for a casual day. Mila pointed and asked Graham why her backpack was ready for school nights. Graham said it was just to help with routine. Mila asked why the folder said bank. Graham paused. He said it was boring adult stuff. He told her to go play. Mila ran back to the swings, but she did not smile like before. She asked me quietly why Dad had a folder like that, and why he told her to keep her things ready. I laughed lightly and said Dad liked lists. I said he was being extra because he was stressed. Mila nodded, but her face did not relax. Graham walked over then. He asked if we could talk for a minute away from the kids. I said we could talk right there. He said he wanted privacy. I said privacy was what he wanted for himself, not for me. He asked me to stop posting about the surgery and stop letting friends speak for me. I said he was trying to silence me. He asked if I had made the clinic appointment. I said I was still deciding. He asked why I told everyone it was set. I said I needed support. He asked if support meant humiliation for him. I said he humiliated himself by not being supportive. His face did not change much, but his eyes did. He looked tired in a controlled way, like he had already accepted something I did not know yet. When we left the playground, Graham closed the trunk carefully. I heard a small click, like a lock. The folder stayed inside. The backpack stayed ready. And Mila held Graham's hand tighter than she held mine. On Monday morning, I walked into the office like I had nothing to hide. I kept my shoulders back. I wore lipstick I usually save for meetings. I told myself that if I looked stable, I was stable. That is how my mind worked then. By 10, my manager, Cheryl, sent a message and asked if I could step into HR for a quick word. The phrase looked innocent on the screen, but it made my hands go cold. I told myself it was about a project. I told myself it was normal. Still, my stomach tightened as I walked down the hallway. The HR room smelled like paper and air freshener. The lights were too bright. Cheryl sat with an HR rep named Martin. Martin had a calm face that did not offer comfort. He asked if I was okay at home. I said yes. He asked if anything personal was affecting my work. I said no. Then he mentioned workplace chatter and professional boundaries. I knew right away what it was. Someone had heard something. Someone had seen Noah too close to me in the lobby or the parking garage. Someone had watched Cassidy's posts and connected names, even without tags. Martin asked if I had been meeting vendors off-site during work hours. I said sometimes, but it was for business. He asked if I had used company time for personal issues. I said no. He asked if I had shared private family conflict with coworkers. I said people asked, and I only said I was dealing with health decisions. He asked if my husband had contacted the office. I said absolutely not, and I tried to sound offended. That part was true. Graham had not called my job. Graham had not shown up. Graham had not done any messy thing I could point at. Martin said the company wanted to avoid drama and protect everyone's comfort. He asked if I could keep personal matters off social media during work hours. I said I could not control what my friends posted. He asked if I could at least avoid commenting from my desk. I said I barely used my phone at work. That was a lie, and I said it with a straight face. When I left HR, I did not feel ashamed. I felt angry. I felt like I had been judged, and I decided someone needed to pay for that feeling. On the way back to my desk, I typed a message to Cassidy and said HR was basically policing women's choices. She replied that I should expose the system. She said I should post more, not less. At lunch, Noah texted and asked what was wrong. I said work was being unfair. He asked if Graham was behind it. I said maybe. I let that thought hang there because it gave me a simple villain. Noah replied that some men try to ruin women when they lose control. I read it and felt a sour relief, like the world was lining up behind me again. That afternoon, Graham sent a text about Mila. He asked if I could confirm my pickup day for Wednesday. I said sure, but I added that he was making things complicated. He asked what I meant. I said he was acting like we were separated already. He replied that he was trying to keep Mila's routine steady. He asked if we could agree on simple rules for bedtime and homework. I said I did not need rules. I said I was her mother. He did not argue. He replied with a short line about wanting Mila to feel safe in both homes. Both homes. The words hit me like a slap, even though they were polite. I told myself he was threatening me. I told myself he was trying to scare me into obedience. But he never wrote anything dramatic. He never used insults. He kept everything clean and simple, like he was writing for an audience. That night, I came home to a quiet house. The kitchen was clean. Mila's shoes were lined up by the door. Graham was not in the living room. I heard the guest room door close softly, and then a small click, like a locked drawer. I told myself that was proof he was hiding something. I told myself I had a right to know. Then I remembered how it felt to be asked questions in HR, and I decided I would not chase him. I decided I would make him chase me. At dinner, Mila ate slowly. She asked why Dad was always tired. I said Dad was stressed. She asked if it was because of her. I said no. She asked if Dad was mad at me. I said Dad was confused. Mila frowned like she did not like that answer. She asked if we were still a family. I said families change shape, but they stay families. I tried to sound wise, but it sounded slippery, even to me. After Mila went to bed, I found Graham on the stairwell landing, coming up with a laundry basket. The house was dim. The nightlight by the hallway made long shadows. He looked older than usual, not from age, but from restraint. He asked if we could talk for 10 minutes. I said I had a headache. He asked if I was still planning the surgery. I said yes, and I added that he needed to accept it. He asked if I could stop letting Cassidy post about him. I said he was the one making it public by being difficult. He said he had not posted anything. I said silence was also public when people were talking. He asked if I had been meeting Noah outside work. I froze for half a second, then laughed. I said Noah was a vendor and a friend. I asked why Graham was spying on me. He said he was not spying. He said he had heard my name in places that did not make sense. He said he wanted honesty because the lies were hurting Mila. I turned it around fast. I said he was using Mila as a weapon. I said he was trying to control me by calling me a liar. I said he was being paranoid. I said he needed therapy, not me. I watched his face carefully, hoping for anger, hoping for a raised voice. I wanted a scene I could use, but he only blinked and breathed out slowly. He said he was not going to argue on the stairs. He asked if I could agree to keep adult conflict away from Mila. I said I already did. He said Mila had asked him if he was bad because she heard a parent at school repeat a post. I said that was not my fault. He said it became my responsibility when I fed it. I felt cornered, so I went for pride. I said I deserved support and attention. I said I had been lonely. I said he made me feel unseen. I said he cared more about being right than being close. Some of that was real feeling, but I used it like a shield, not like a truth. Graham set the laundry basket down and looked at me in a quiet way that made my throat tighten. He asked if I understood what I had done to our trust. I said trust is a two-way street. I said he broke it first by pressuring me about children. He said he asked. He did not pressure. I said it felt like pressure, and feelings were proof. He did not smile at that. He did not roll his eyes. He just nodded once, like he had reached the end of a list. From the guest room, I heard a faint toner smell, like a printer had been used earlier, and the thought made me uneasy. I glanced toward the hall and saw his phone on a small table with a calendar open. I caught a glimpse of a recurring entry that said, meeting, personal. No details, just that. I tried one last tactic. I asked if he was planning something against me. He said he was planning stability for Mila. I asked if he was trying to take my child. He said he was trying to protect her routine. I asked if he was trying to punish me for the surgery. He said this was not about punishment. He said choices have outcomes. My mouth opened, ready to fight again, but he lifted his hand slightly, not aggressive, just final. He told me he would not do this on emotion anymore. He said he would not shout, and he would not beg. He said he would handle it properly. I went to the women's health clinic on Tuesday morning and acted like it was a victory lap. I wore a clean sweater and made sure my hair looked neat. I told myself I would post a brave photo in the waiting room. I told myself the internet would clap, and Graham would finally feel sorry. The lobby was bright and quiet. A TV played a silent news channel. A few people sat with clipboards. I walked to the check-in desk, and the receptionist asked for my name and date of birth. I gave it. She asked me to take a seat. I did. I opened my phone and typed a caption about choice and strength. My hands were steady until I saw Graham's last message on the lock screen. He had only written that he would pick up Mila after school and bring her dinner. No blame, no fight, just routine. It made me angry because it made him look like the adult. A man in a plain jacket walked into the lobby and paused, like he was searching. He looked at a paper, then looked at me. He asked if I was Eustacia Ward. I said yes, and I smiled like it was a fan. He said he was there to serve legal documents. I said that was not funny. He said he was not joking and asked me to confirm my address. I said I did not have to tell him anything. He said he only needed to confirm identity and that I could refuse, but service would still be noted. Then he held out an envelope. My name was printed on the top, spelled correctly. My stomach dropped, in a way I did not expect, like my body understood before my mind did. I took it because people were watching. The receptionist's eyes lifted and stayed on me, careful and curious. I looked down and saw words I did not want to see. Petition, summons, and temporary orders. I flipped pages too fast. I saw dissolution of marriage. I saw Mila's name. I saw a schedule with days and times. I saw a line about not moving money or selling assets outside normal expenses. I saw a date for a court appearance. I stood up so quickly the chair scraped. The process server said he could not answer questions. He said I could contact the court or my counsel. I asked where Graham was. He said he did not know. Outside, the air felt colder than it should. In the parking lot, I called Graham. It went to voicemail. I called again. No answer. I texted that he was cruel and that he was punishing me for my medical choice. He did not reply. I drove to the courthouse because I needed to feel in control again. The building was busy, like any other day. People stood in lines with folders. A security guard told me to empty my pockets. I did. At the clerk's window, I said I needed to understand what I was holding. The clerk asked for the case information from the top page. I gave it with shaking fingers. The clerk checked the screen and spoke in a flat voice. She said the filing was active. She said the temporary orders were signed and effective today. She said the parenting schedule started immediately, and exchanges would be in public places. She said there were standard financial restraints now, and violations could have consequences. I tried to speak, but my mouth stayed open without sound. Behind me, someone coughed. In the glass reflection, I saw my own face looking small. I realized Graham did not need to shout, and he did not need to beg, because the result was already real, already stamped, already in effect.